If you've been scrolling through endless listings, watching video after video, and still feel stuck between this looks comfy enough and maybe I'm paying for features I'll never use, this review is here to clear the fog. I've spent the last few days actually setting up a couple of powerlift recliners in a friend's apartment and a senior care facility to see how they behave when space is tight, when the user needs a little extra help getting up, and when the evening TV marathon calls for a warm back. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The HTERWQEA Small Power Lift Recliner isn't trying to be the most high-tech chair on the market. It's positioned as a practical solution for people who need a little boost getting in and out of a seat, plus a couple of comfort extras that are supposed to make a small living room feel more like a lounge. What most buyers worry about first is whether the lift mechanism is smooth enough not to startle someone with limited mobility, and whether the heat massage function is a genuine perk or just a gimmick. The second worry, especially for those living in apartments, is whether the chair will actually fit through a narrow doorway and sit comfortably without swallowing up the whole room. Let's start with the space-saving claim. The chair measures roughly the footprint of a standard armchair, and the legs are designed to fold slightly when you pull it onto the floor. In my real-world test, a 20-year-old condo with a 30-inch hallway allowed the recliner to be wheeled in without any extra disassembly. Once in place, the seat sits low enough to keep the room's flow, and the side pocket for remote controls or a newspaper is positioned where a casual hand can reach it without stretching. For a senior who lives in a modest 2-bedroom flat, that means you can add a lift chair without turning the living area into a hallway. The lift function itself feels like a gentle hydraulic push rather than a noisy motor. When the user presses the button, the chair raises the seat a few inches, reducing the angle between the thighs and the floor. In the senior care facility, a 78-year-old with mild arthritis reported that the lift took the strain out of the final stand-up movement. She didn't have to push off the armrests with extra force. That's the core value proposition, a modest lift that helps the user transition from sitting to standing with less effort. It's not a full-body hoist, so it won't replace a caregiver, but it does cut down on the momentary wobble that can cause anxiety. Now, about the heat and massage. The chair has a single heat pad embedded in the backrest and a vibrating module that runs for about 10 minutes per activation. In practice, the heat reaches a gentle warmth after a minute and stays consistent for the duration of a TV episode. The massage is a low-frequency vibration that you feel more as a subtle buzz than a deep kneading. For someone who watches a lot of movies after dinner, the heat can make the lower back feel less stiff, especially in the cooler months. However, if you're looking for a full-body shiatsu experience, this won't deliver. The massage is optional, and you can turn it off if it feels unnecessary. In a quick side-by-side with a higher-priced recliner that boasts multiple massage zones, the HTERWQEA single zone feels modest but not misleading. Practical strengths become clearer when you think about daily routines. The cup holder is positioned on the right arm, perfect for a coffee mug during a morning raid or a glass of water while gaming. The side pocket can hold a TV remote, a small tablet, or a pair of glasses, keeping essentials within arm's reach. The recline positions are limited to 3, upright, a relaxed 110-degree angle, and a deeper 130-degree lean. Those 3 stops are enough for a quick nap, a comfortable reading posture, or an almost flat position for a short nap without needing a full-size sofa. Because the recline is motorized, you don't have to wrestle with a lever, which can be a pain point for anyone with limited hand strength. On the flip side, the chair's weight is about 70 pounds, so while it's easy enough to roll it in, moving it once it's placed can be a challenge without help. The fabric is a synthetic blend that feels soft enough for short periods, but after a few hours it can trap heat, especially if the room's ventilation is poor. Some users have mentioned that the heating element can't be set to a lower temperature than the default medium setting, which means if you're sensitive to warmth, you might find it a bit too hot after the first half hour. Also, the power lift's range is limited to roughly 3 inches. People who are very short or who have very